Let's start with Bitcoin. What are you seeing technically? Any support, meaningful support anywhere?
Yeah, the supports have totally broken down over the past few days. We had support around 40K. That was very minor, and that was broken down because sellers remained active. The last time I was on this show, I talked about that declining trend of lower highs since the November peak of 69K, and that's been pretty persistent throughout. We've had oversold signals for a while since December. But you got to remember, in a downtrend, oversold signals tend to be very short-term in nature, and you're looking for that real capitulation. We haven't really seen that yet. So there was some minor support around 37K. Price might bounce back around there, but it's very choppy, very volatile, just like traditional markets, as you said, in the futures. So there is risk of a further pullback towards the previous low, which was around 30K. That's pretty critical. And if you break through 30K, that's an indication of a trend shift from bullish to bearish. And that's very similar to 2018. So I'm monitoring that very carefully. There is really no signs of short capitulation at this point. So it could be very rocky going forward.
So 30K, not 34, but 30 would be to you sort of the next major test for Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's definitely stronger support. Right now you're looking at these very short-term support levels, and those pretty much favor like the intraday traders and things like that. So you're looking for brief price bounces or stabilization over those points. But for the longer term traders, you look for those stronger support levels that have been retested previous times. And another way to look at it is where levels were previously resistance become stronger support. And you look at longer term trend gauges, like longer term moving averages or different indicators that you can use. And what they do is to define the long-term trend. So you look for those lower or higher lows over the longer period of time, and 30K is right around there. So if you break through that on a consistent basis, you maybe look for 2 weekly consecutive closes below that level. That would indicate some trend weakness, which really means that upside going from there is very limited over the intermediate term at least.
What the crypto crew will tell you, and they are correct, by the way, in this, Dominic, is that nothing defines crypto like volatility. We've had 50, 60, 80% drops in Bitcoin over the past decade or longer. Back when it was $1, it would go down to 10 cents, and then it would go up to $30 and back down to $5. That this is nothing new, and they are hodlers. They're going to hold on for dear life. Is this, I don't want to call it a flush, is this selling perhaps in any way positive, in a sense that, again, it kind of forces out the weaker hands and consolidates the market a little bit, or am I just looking for something positive on a Monday morning?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You have these long-term traders. It's a very sentiment-driven market. Traders and investors tend to stack up when the price declines at an extreme level. So just like on the upside, the same for the downside. I always say, flip the chart over as a technician when you're in the extreme moments. And, it tends to show the same thing and it removes the bias. So there's a lot of folks that are looking probably to buy back in around the 20 to 30K range. And that could be it. And we had these like extreme upside moves over the past year, 2020, of course. And that's like extreme greed and frothiness in the market. And, now you kind of see that retest, that flush out of the hands, like you said. So it's healthy, and over the longer term, volatility and those crazy market environments have deteriorated and it's become more of a mature market. So we're looking for some of that sentiment to come through, conviction on these lower support levels to come through. Time will tell.